19 January 2023, Thursday, guys. Hold your breath because I think the Dow Jones may drop by another 1,789 points. No kidding. And I'll tell you why, and I got a solid reason to tell you, so that's why this is a must-watch video. Don't miss it. But of course, once again, please make sure that you do a risk assessment and do this calculation before you just hammer a trade, okay? Alright, and thank you AIMS for the kind sponsorship. Now let's recap what happened last night first. Okay, wow, the Dow Jones lost 613 points, Nasdaq down by 146, and S&P dropped by 62 points. And I've been telling you guys, there's a chance that the market will drop by 1,000 points for the Dow Jones, and it really happened. Right, from the highest point this cycle to now, it's down by almost 1,000 points. And the main thing is Microsoft was down by 1.89%, Amazon 0.61%, Berkshire half away, down by 2%. Very interesting. And Apple was down by 0.5%, but the main one was JP Morgan. Now, we all know that JP Morgan result was not too bad at all, right? But it's down by almost 3%. It's down by, in fact, 3%. This is not a good sign. And Tesla, who boasts that they are, because they have ran down in prices, there's ongoing rumors are saying that they are, people going to buy their cars itself, right, have increased by 80%, or all this sort of thing. So my point is this: you can tell me everything in the world, but the price action tells and speaks for itself. So I believe that something is just not right now, and guys, you should be very, very careful. So the Dow Jones tumbled 600 points as investors took profit on some of the strong gains. That's a good idea. And a very disappointing December retail sales, all right, it was very disappointing, in fact, and I've been telling you this, retail sales have been down for three consecutive months, so this actually spells recession. Tomorrow I'll be heavily emphasizing why I think the market is going to hit recession very soon. And of course, the share price of the banks actually came off, and again, those rally that we saw a couple of days ago was very manipulated. So that's why I felt that the whole thing itself was a pump and dump exercise. And of course, I share with you, when you have the fund managers so positive, so optimistic, you just have to be very, very careful. But of course, Jerome Powell suffering from COVID is another potential reason, but of course this is a mild one because we all know that we can recover very easily. So there are many reasons for the market to take profit, but I still feel that the key thing is still recession. All right, so one thing is that we saw a very incredible pullback on the BOJ 10-year yield right now from 0.5% back to 0.4%. So that actually helps the market, right? Supposedly to help the market, but it didn't. It really didn't. So again, if this is pulling back right now, it's a concerning factor, but yet the market doesn't move, that is very bad. And dollar yen, look at it. Oh my God, look at the dollar yen chart. This is a very beautiful downtrend line trajectory, and of course you can see the dollar yen rejecting, all right, 131 level and pull back, and seemingly it is because that people are not comfortable with whatever BOJ said during their last meeting. And the thing is this: if Federal Reserve continue to raise interest rate, it's going to force the arm of this BOJ to really consider to increase interest rate. But if they do that itself, right, that will be very bad for the entire equity market. So in order to save their skin right now, likelihood BOJ is dumping the US bonds. But if they dump the US bonds, then the problem is this: it will still hurt the US market. So to me itself, right, it's still going to be a big problem here, and things will get very crazy if US continue to raise interest rate, and then BOJ got no choice but to force eventually to do that. So the Nikkei pulls back. It went all the way to 26,900 area, but it pulls back down to 26,368. And I tell you, I believe that we're going to see a bit more selling. I think that we're going to see a bit more selling for the Nikkei all the way down to about 25,500 level. So traders, you need to be very, very careful on this market. I think this is one of the market that will be a catalyst to break. So you can see with the 10-year yield right now, very interesting and incredible because of the retail sales and the Dow Jones pulling back yesterday. The 10-year yield also came down. Very interesting. Came back down below the level that I mentioned, which is at 3.43%. This is something that I didn't expect, to be honest with you. So when this is actually happening, I checked on the bonds market itself, right? The bonds market was higher, so that be a little question mark here. So the thing is this: if the yields are coming down right now, that means again a lot of people are shoring to buy the bonds. The question is, who are buying the bonds? who will buy the US bonds right now? So that's a very big question here, and I really beg to differ. If you're telling me itself is the big boys are buying, I don't buy that, okay? So one thing to watch out for is Bitcoin. I've been telling you this. Now, Bitcoin created a BMB in the chart pattern. If I share with you right now, this is a TWB indicator. So this tells me that there's a potential chance that the Bitcoin may be at this peak for this cycle right now. Now, one thing to note is this particular moving average at about 19,000, this area must hold. Now, why am I concerned with Bitcoin right now, right? Because of this news right now. Crypto lender Genesis is preparing for bankruptcy within days, within this week. And of course, if they really file for bankruptcy, which already being a known fact here itself, this may hurt the Bitcoin, right? Yeah, definitely you hit a bit, but from the way I look at it right now, it doesn't really seem to be affected by that, yeah? So I'm going to give you a technical outlook on this. Now, this is the Bitcoin with a 200-day moving average, and you can see how beautiful it was. Once it hit the moving average, this is where the market started to come down. Wow, as if that the market has believed the 200-day MA to this call, right? So, but you'll notice that back then, the volume involved itself is not very heavy, but the RSI was already at 70. So now we look at the RSI. Oh my goodness, the RSI went above 80. That's very overboard. And of course, the volume itself is not really as heavy. And we are now very near to the moving average 200 as 19,600. Okay, so take this number down. Current price for the Bitcoin now is 20,700. Okay, so if Bitcoin goes below 19,600, then Bitcoin will likely fall, okay? It will likely fall. I'm still looking at Bitcoin to come down to 12,000 for me to buy, all right? So I'm still waiting for that. So take note of that, okay? But nonetheless, it's all right, okay? All right, this is something very interesting to watch out for. So traders better watch out for this. This is going to be a very big one, okay? All right, so after the Bitcoin, now look at something different. Let's take a look right now. This one here is all, okay? I'll be honest with you, I've never studied this, but when I was going through one of YouTubers sharing, I really got very impressed. I need to share this with you, okay? So first of all, UnitedHealth Group, all right? It is one of the Dow component stock, okay? This company was founded in 1998, and this company just came out very good earnings, all right? Their revenue is $285 billion with employee of more than 300,000 people across the whole world. So this is a very big company, okay? The institutional investors own more than 50% of the company, and they are very strongly influenced board decision, okay? So they can do all this sort of decision and make sure that. And one of the largest shareholders is Vanguard Group, which owns about 8.6%, okay? So this is a very big company, and they have very influential institutional investors out there. I tried to dig more on this company, but I couldn't get a lot of details. But it sounds that this company is very important, right? Okay, now when I go into deeper on this itself, right, that is where I realized that, right, with 89% institutional ownership, this company is a favorite among the big guns. Okay, so that is the point right now. The big guns like it, okay? The big guns like it. So if the big guns like it, it's all right. If I were to say this, if the big guns know that something big may be happening to the financial market, do you think that they will take away or move away from this particular stock? So that is where I'm actually trying to say right now. Let me just share you some details and you'll be very intrigued by this. Now, what I did was, this one in the candlestick is the UnitedHealth Group, okay? All right. And you can see that the one in orange is the S&P 500, okay? Look at the red arrows that I'm showing you right now. My goodness, the accuracy of its pinpoint pullback or recovery from the bottom is amazing. It's almost identical, This is no joke. It's like pinpoint itself. Really crazy, right? Okay. So what we are seeing right now is that there's a very interesting momentum now, is that this company shares is having a lower cycle, right? Can you see on this side here, lower cycle? And then the cycle low is also going down. Now this is a very classic downward trend momentum, okay? So the question is this, okay? The question is this: what's so big deal about this company, right? So when I go into more detail, then I realize that this company, oh my goodness, no wonder. Let's take a look. This company is actually the heaviest weightage in the Dow Jones component, all right? The constituents of by weight itself, right, is actually 10.85%. Wow. That means that definitely, if the Dow Jones is to go up or down, this particular stock will speak for it, okay? And that's the reason why Goldman Sachs yesterday, when it was down, that's the reason why you saw the price coming off. So this two itself takes up almost about 17% of the entire weightage of the Dow Jones. So now you understand why when this two goes down, the Dow will be hit. So last night, this particular counter down by $8 or 1.82% on its own. Now, why am I saying this all this? Because I'm telling you this, guys. This company just came in a better earning, right? $303 million of earnings. So this company is good. They earn money. But the thing is this, it has just went below the 200-day moving average, and there's no seem to rebound from there. Now, let me just clear up the screen a little bit to let you see it better right now. And that's where my concern is, okay, guys? This is going to be big, guys. Okay, take a look. Now, this counter itself, right, since last 2020, all right, has been staying very strongly afloat on the MA 200, okay? Even you go down by a couple of days, almost immediately it will rebound, right? But this time now, if you see this, this is not showing me any signs of rebound. And I really tell you guys, this particular stock is owned by many institutional investors. All right. So if they are selling, that means something is wrong, right? Something is just very wrong. And if you look at it right now, right, it's so, the way the stock is moving, it basically is like an indicator for S&P 500. So with all this thing right now, right, I feel that something is telling me there is a chance of a bigger selling on the way. So when I look at the S&P 500 chart right now, you can see over here the beautiful trajectory that it has. And when I accompany with the 200-day moving average, right, you will notice that we have a big issue, guys. The 200-day moving average and the trajectory comes together. Right, and the volume itself is actually inching up while the price is coming down. This is not a good sign at all, okay? Now, it may not be immediate response to the market, but I just feel that this is something that you must be very careful as we approach the Chinese New Year period. So you look at it now, if I make it a zoom in for you, you will see that, right, once the market loses the moving average MA 200 and being blocked by the trajectory itself, right, this is what happened. So last night is exactly the same thing, and then what happened on both occasions, the market fell quite substantially, all right? So I suspect that they're going to go back down again. Now, the 3,900, the one that Morgan Stanley says will be a very critical level today, 3,900, put that mark down. Now, if the market loses 3,900, it's a very good chance to see 3,809 coming in. And I'm pretty confident that we may actually get to see this very soon. And in fact itself, Morgan Stanley, Mike Wilson says that most likely the market will take away the October low. Wow, that will be even crazier, right? So all these things tells me that you need to be very careful. Now, I don't say that the market will crash, but I think that some selling should be on the way, all right? Should be on the way. So even when James Buller, he's no longer one of the committee members for Federal Reserve for this year for decision making, but he came out and expressed it to Nick, which is a Wall Street Journal, tell him that, right, we need to bring interest rate to at least 5.25%, and reiterate several times. So all I can say is this, everything is moving towards that particular junction here. So I think that you should be very careful, guys. Things is not going to go well, okay? So if you look at it with my TWB chart itself, we can see this even clearer right now. Now, the last few days, the boys have been buying. That is very clear from my TWB indicator. But the weightage itself is showing me red signal. That means that the selling is coming in, okay? Now, my color change from CCRY, meaning from red to yellow is a buy. Now it's CCYR. Yellow turns to red, is a sell. So, and the beautiful part is that the market stopped perfectly at this point right here after the breakout, okay, from this day. So now it has basically flushed back, and 2 trading days have taken out all these days of upside. So that is selling pressure, okay? So if you will ask me, right, very good chance we can see the Dow Jones coming down, really, all right, based on the chart of TWB. And if you use a conventional chart and do some mathematical calculation, you will notice that, okay, we use the 5% rule, and we just have the market going below the 90th percentile level of 33,258. Now, as I was writing earlier, the Dow Jones was trading at 33,000. 200 level, all right, around there. So I believe the Dow is going to go down. The first level will be 32,334. Now, if the market stay there, that could be a breather. But if the market loses that, the Dow can go all the way down to my next percentile, which is my 85 percentile, 31411. So if you do the maths, 33,200 minus 31411, it will give you 1789. And from the movement right now, I think there is a chance, because if you look back over here itself, guys, the market sold down from this point here, which is relatively the same, within 2 trading days. Within 2 trading days, the market collapsed 1,700 to 1,800 points. Okay, and that was back in June, June period last year. So to me itself, guys, be very careful. Please take note of that. And of course, I really hope that this doesn't really happen immediately. But if you now hear from me and you feel the same way, maybe it's time to exercise cautious and then be careful as you trade over the weekend. Yeah, and also Chinese New Year period. All right, so with that itself, right, let's look at the chart and we can see from the screen, oh gosh, there's further selling right now and it's getting nearer and nearer to my KFC level, 33,031 level. So I said before, as long as the market can stay above my KFC level, the market will go back up, okay? But if the market fails, if the market cannot do that, then the selling pressure should be able to bring the Dow lower. And I already been telling you this, guys, be very, very careful, especially after the, after mid of January. I already shared with many people about this. Hopefully you got my cue, okay? The Nasdaq itself had created a BNB sell off, and the candlestick engulfed the white candle. So most likely you're going to see the Nasdaq coming all the way down to 10,800 series. Okay, no joke about it, guys. Now the Hang Seng itself, as I told you, is being resisted at 21,950. So it's trying its best because it's Chinese New Year. Usually it's a suspect that they'll push the market higher, but you cannot fight the whole market. Okay, if the US market is really weak and the Chinese economy is not going to do well, it's still going to pull back, okay? So traders, you need to be very, very careful. Now for gold price, I told you guys, 1921 is a very strong resistance. Yesterday, the gold price went up to 1925, but it couldn't stay above, that's why it pulled back. So now you can see very clearly my 1921 is a very strong resistance. You just make sure, need to know about this, because when I look around, a lot of people are calling for buying gold. I said that before, gold is a buy, but let it pull back first, about 1850, then we buy from here will be a better choice. But again, choice is yours. You make your own final decision. Yep. Okay, let's look at the TWB chart right now. You can see the Dow Jones is coming down below the BNB RL level. So most likely the Dow could test 32,800 tonight. Really, 32,800. And if it goes lower, 31,660 could be next. Okay, guys, this is something to watch. Now, do note, if my KSI turn red at the same time with the KRW, that will spell serious trouble. All right. Now, the Nasdaq, we have created a new BNB. As you can see, the system automatically updated. And now it's trading below the BNB SL level. So which means that 11,116 could be next. Now, KSI has turned red. So the boys are actually selling right now. And my KRW is now showing the weightage is there. That means there's some buying from the bottom. But if my KRW turn red, then the selling will be drastic. So again, you need to be very careful. S&P 500, let me just quickly double check the screen once again. Same thing here, it's a CCYR on the screen right now, and the thing is this, S&P 500 is going to touch the base of BNB RL at 3909. If the market loses 3909, the first target today will be 3870, okay? KSI is red, but KRW is cyan, so there'll be a mix here, so we're going to wait for a while, but traders, once again, be very, very careful. You don't want to be caught, okay? Now, Nikkei has pulled back. It couldn't go past the BNB RL level, which is at 26,532. For 2 consecutive days, the Nikkei couldn't go above this point despite going through it. So that means the Nikkei is going to pull back down all the way to 26,000 once again. All right. And let's look at the DAX right now. It's trading now. Let's take a look at DAX. DAX is now trading below the BNB SL level at 15,078. So likelihood we'll see 14,888 being traded. KSI is red, but the KRW is cyan. but it's lifting, it's coming down a little bit. So 14,888 is actually very, very possible. All right. So this is the indices. Let's look at the Forex right now. Forex side, we have the dollar yen that's trading below my pivot 2. So most likely dollar yen might be pushed down all the way to 126 level, because as I said, if this BOJ is not going to do what it's supposed to do, that will pressure the yen stronger. All right, so that's one you must understand. And of course, the pound will be, the pound last night shot up all the way, touched my BNB RL level, extension 1x1 beautifully, and then pulls back. So once again, you can see once the market broke the RL, the market just one thing to do, go up and hit it. So that's why this indicator is so powerful. As long as you know how to utilize this, it's going to be a good one here. Now for Euro, I feel that there's going to be some resistance around this area right now, because there's a new BNB RL at 1.088, okay? My KSI is red, cyan in the KRW, so there's a mix here, but I don't think Euro is a buy in the near term, all right? All right, looks at the crude oil for the quick one. Crude oil, where are you? Now, crude oil went up, blast past the BNB RL level, but it failed to cross 81.87 convincingly. That's why it pulls back down. And the reason why crude oil is coming up, because there are recession fears. They think that the economy is not going to do well. That's why crude oil come off. Now, to me, crude oil coming off is good, because we have taken some profit at 81.80. So anytime it pulls back down to $76, it'll be the first buy up. But if you can buy at 71.70, that will be the best. Okay, that is the best level that I would love to buy. Okay. All right. So for the gold market right now, and silver, let's do silver first. Let me just switch the screen, a quick refresh. For silver, it has came off, as I told you guys. So it's going to go down to this particular point. This is the BNB support level, and that is approximately at about $23.23. I suspect that that will be the first support, but if it comes down to $22 for this round, will be a good one. All right. For gold prices, we can see that we know that the central banks have been buying a lot of gold, but stay cool on this. You don't need to rush in. You just wait for the gold to come down. The first support will be at 1895, but the one that I'm looking for will be here, and that will be 1867. Okay, 1867.3. That will be a good level to buy, because it's very near to the MA30, and the KSI and my KRW both are in positive shape. So a pullback to 1867, 68 will be a very good price to buy. Okay. All right. Now for Bitcoin, I want to share with you something here very important. Is that right? I saw some of my student, they have a bit of withdrawal issue with Binance. Not too sure how real is this, because I saw him posting he couldn't do some withdrawal. Maybe it could be a technical problem. So I don't see anything online yet. Let's hope everything goes well. But I can tell you this, guys, if anything happened to Binance, I tell you Bitcoin will plunge to 18,000 or lower. If you ask me, is that right? I think Bitcoin can come down all the way to 17,500 easily, because the boys are actually selling right now. Although my KCX is still okay, but I just feel very uncomfortable with this Bitcoin, especially with what will happen now to this Genesis. I just don't like the feeling. Okay, so guys, trade with care, enjoy yourself tonight. I'll tell you more about tomorrow market, US in terms of recession for tomorrow's MAO. All right, this is Cal signing off. Bye bye.